How many of you are in the content creation business? Just broadly. Classic video producers. How many of you are in the VR production community, the business? Great, cool. Hi, as the brief intro was, I'm Bryan from Discovery. I'm the head of original content. I think I'll just roll a sizzle. It wouldn't be complete, from Discovery if I didn't roll like a snazzy video for you guys. Let's hope the audio works. This is the sizzle for Discovery VR app. The audio is...
Okay, hang on. Stop this for a while. And audio device, and internal speakers. Yeah, okay. Next. Okay.
So this is a relatively young app. I think it launched in around August 2015. To date, we've had about 1.6, close to, I think 1.8, the last I checked, million downloads, and it's been streamed about 46 million times. Great. That's available on Google, iOS, and of course on HTC Vive and Oculus. How many of you have read the press release? I think it was shared with some of you. Basically, today I'm here to more talk about the IMDA Fund, which is a cooperation, co-investment fund with Discovery Channel Asia. It's a $5 million fund, co-invested by both parties. There will be several parts to that pie, if you like. It's going to be a year-long program. The first part, which I'll talk briefly about as well in a bit, is actually a call for entries for first-time producers who have never worked with Discovery before to produce classic, I say classic, but it's traditional 15-minute documentaries. Another piece of that pie, which I think will interest this group a lot more, is there will be some time in, and really we're literally still planning it, closer to second quarter of next year, where we're going to have a call for entries for VR pitches. Now, the broad spectrum, kind of the broad idea we have for it is we're really focused. I think all of you who are familiar with Discovery, we're not about just experiential, what dust off your back kind of experiences. A lot of the VR experiences I've been kind of interacting with in the moment has been wow, ooh, ah. But at Discovery, we pride ourselves at doing storytelling. So a very big part of that call would be for the community, especially in Singapore, to come pitch to us genuine stories. And these stories should come from our part of the world, be it Singapore, be it broadly what we're saying Asia, but I think Southeast Asia is so rich with stories that you will not be short of it. The call for the VR pitch would be for Singapore-registered companies and entities, obviously because of the funding model, but also because I think a lot of the amazing stuff you've seen on the if some of you are familiar and played around a bit, the Discovery VR stuff have been produced, from the western part of the world, and I've been very kind of active in kind of having long conversations in the US to try to have genuine Asian producers be able to pitch content to sit on this platform. I mean, the platform, as I mentioned, has been downloaded, more often than most apps around on the market. Simply, building on the strength of the Discovery brand. Within that, there's a whole slew of content. I hope you guys can take some time to download and have a play around. There are initially content that were more behind the scene kind of stuff, which I think a lot of you have seen. 360 has that ability for behind the scene for documentary coverage. So the main story is shot on traditional 4K or 2K cameras, and then there is often the assistant producer with a 360 camera kind of covering the scene and then sharing that experience with viewers. That's how we started off in 2015. We've progressed way beyond that now from there's a lot of sharks, as you see. There's a lot of sharks in Discovery. We've done a lot of the shark programming, and we're starting to think in terms of covering it almost not just as a by the way kind of add-on, but also the storytelling from 360 point of view for a lot of the Shark Week content that we do really well and do a lot of. We've done a couple of 360 specials for Mythbusters, if some of you are familiar with that. Now we're progressing and dabbling in animation. I think for that pitch to Singapore producers coming up in April, March, first Q, we're also looking at possibly animated 360 experiences. But, I think live action continues to be where, the industry is at this point. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I think a lot of you sitting here are probably more experienced in the 360 genre than myself. I started off as a classic documentary producer, director. So the technology excites me. I think a lot of talk is about how VR storytelling is really where art meets science. The technology that you guys, dabbling in your labs and the coders are coming up with are really, meeting up with the genuine storytellers in a very powerful way. So, true credit to IMDA, they put money together with Discovery where the mouth is, and have come up with this fund to really look for, I would say, 4 to 5 really strong pitches from this part of the world, and we were fully commissioned and take you through the process of what we in essence call the Discovery Channel VR experience. The winners would obviously develop the film and shoot the film, and then it will premiere on Discovery VR app. So it's an amazing way to jumpstart your VR career to have that huge audience that a lot of, I think, at the moment 360 videos do not get. That's the VR bit. I've touched on 2. One is the first-time filmmakers bit, which is called Jump Cut Asia. Second one is the VR. Third one is for 4K productions. If some of you are kind of in that business for 4K, perhaps for advertising, we're also looking for 4K documentary ideas, and that's later part of the year. And finally, at the end of the year, we'll have pitches for TLC, which is our lifestyle brand, and Discovery branded ideas in the documentary space. I think I'll take questions if you have. I'm not going to belabor and go on about it. I think it's better to have a conversations and to create a conversation, that kind of have Q&A now, I think. Yes. Yeah.
Hi, can we get a little bit more info on criteria?
Yeah, literally, you guys are the first group that I'm talking to about the VR production. We've been working on this one at the moment, which I'll touch on as well, jump cut. But the criteria will come out, I think, closer to end of the year. I hopefully before Christmas. We'll really kind of lay down the. Are you asking about like technical specifics or?
More general, like for example, there's quite a bit of content that people create.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want to pitch for an idea, but we're more curious, like what are the example, what kind of content are you guys Discovery looking at? Is there a specific list of things they're looking for? And the second part is, how much money are we looking at? Is it based on our budgeting, or is it a budget that you guys set that IDA usually does?
Yeah. For this one, I think the best way to get a sense, and I tell that to a lot of producers who pitch to me as well, you got to spend time watching Discovery. You can't pitch to us and then you've never spent a day watching Discovery. Then you can't pitch to the client. You should also spend time in the Discovery VR app. That's a really good hint about what kind of stuff we're looking for. As you know, I was mentioning, as December, as Christmas comes by, we'll hopefully launch a full page pitch document that I can share with you guys as well as with the general public about what we're looking for. Regarding budgets, it's really a function of what your storytelling can bring us. At the moment, we're set it just because of where we are in the world to Southeast Asia and Asia. Technology-wise, we're open. I mean, I'm happy to hear pitches for all formats. You know, there's a range of formats. I think Live 360, just as you know, if you have a tool around on the Discovery VR app, has been what is kind of the primary at the moment. There's also animation coming in at the moment, a lot more. They're ramping up. The Discovery VR head office is actually based out of New York, so they are. Well, I'm hoping to bring them in as well. A big part of the IMDA-Discovery partnership is to have also dedicated professional workshops. So I'm hoping to bring down the guys from Cali, from LA, as well as our guys from New York to really also have a 2 to 3 day workshop that we can open up to, whether you pitch or not, to open up to the Singapore production community anyway. So you can attend those workshops, get inspired, get downloads, or even just make connections. And then, of course, on the last day of the workshop, I hope to get a good number of pitches that we can really think about and discuss with the possible production companies.
Questions? Can I just add one more?
Yeah.
Because I came for this. But equipment-wise, is it based on the production company, or would the people that you're going to bring down possibly bring stuff that Discovery could work with, like John's camera or even Nokia itself?
I think if we're thinking, because this will be a fully commissioned program, so whoever is pitching to us will the onus is on the production company to be having the equipment as well as the expertise as well. We are not. This is slightly different from jump cut. I think for the VR one, we are looking for production companies and producers who have some measure of experience already in VR. This isn't jump cut. The first one that we're going to pitch this time frame is really for first-time production company and producers. I think in VR space, the nature of it, going out on Discovery VR, we're looking for producers who already have some expertise and experience in it. So to answer your question, yes, you will have to use your own equipment that, of course, will have to clear and match our technical specification. Yes?
Just a quick call out. It says factual films.
Sorry?
It says factual films. Are we
Yes.
looking to tell stories of the region, specific?
Fact-based. You're mentioning this. Yeah, but for both the VR and jump cut, we are looking, because of just the genre where we are, Discovery, we're looking for real life stories. I think that's the very brief. That would be the first line I punch in on the brief. We're looking at real life stories. We're not looking for dramatized fiction stories. I'll talk briefly about jump cut, which is also the other song and dance I'm doing today. This is the first part of that kind of 4-part cooperation we're doing IMDA. Jump Cut Asia is if some of you are familiar, Discovery has been doing in the region first-time filmmakers. This is a reboot, if you like, of that franchise, of that initiative, where we are really looking at getting production companies in the region, people like yourself, to pitch ideas to us about the region. These will be 15 minutes short documentaries. Not VR, in the classic sense of the documentary. Have a look at the site. As part of this training, this one I can confirm a lot more. We've gotten down quite a nice group of trainers. One of which is find a nice picture of Nick. Yeah, Nick Reed, who's the co-founder of Shareability, which is a viral video company. Nick will be one of the mentors for this Jump Cut Asia, and he'll be in town giving training and touching base with a lot of Singapore production companies. Nick has produced, how many of you have seen the video of Ronaldo, the footballer, dressed up in a fat suit, playing football? Anyone? Yeah. So Nick produced that. I think it was seen like a bajillion times on YouTube. I can't remember. I think it's like 70 million. Nick, in his spare time, has also won an Oscar. So I'm just trying to excite you guys about this competition. Nick is the real deal. So I'm very honored to be able to bring him down to Singapore to be part of the Jump Cut Asia workshop. That workshop, as with the VR workshop, that workshop will be open to all in the public to register to come and attend. Of course, first come, first serve basis. As part of Jump Cut Asia, we're also looking for pictures from our part of the world about unique stories that we are telling. I think, I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the documentary genre, but I think the influence from, stuff like YouTube, from Facebook, has had a huge impact on how even Discovery tells story. Gone are the days where you have Morgan Freeman narrating, a beautiful Serengeti with zebras and lions. We're really finding new ways to tell stories from our part of the world. Our part of the world is one of the most exciting in the world. We should be able to tell stories that engage, for lack of a better term, 25 years old and below. People who are not, watching TV in a traditional sense of the word. You take a good tour around, YouTube today, and you get guys like Casey Neistat, guys like so many of them who are making factual documentary programs that is so far from what we see. I shan't name names, but more classic, like I will have to name names like PBS or BBC who are doing documentary. We want to find pictures from you guys, from Singapore entities that will break the mold. It's still real life stories, it's still factual, but totally in a different style. I wonder if anyone has any questions about Jump Cut, but otherwise have a look at the website. Yeah, I'll still be around, hanging around, so feel free to come say hi, exchange name cards, and have a chat.
All right, thanks Bryan.